Live, local, now. This is Texas Today HD.
Good morning, everybody, and welcome into Texas Today. It is 5 o'clock, April 19th. We are in now a search and recovery mode out of West this morning.
Good morning, everybody. I'm Chris Radcliffe alongside Stephanie Domerat. We're glad that you're waking up and joining us as we continue to learn more. And we welcome in our viewers over at KAGS in the Bryan College Station area. You'll be with us for the next 2 hours, taking you up to the Today Show as well.
We do have something to tell you about overnight. We do want to say that, of course, this is now a search and recovery effort. Like we mentioned yesterday, the focus was search and rescue. Today, we're more on search and recovery. 11 people have been confirmed dead since yesterday, as well as 3 of those being firefighters. And
we do have some names and some faces now to go with these firefighters. KXAS out of Dallas has confirmed on the left of your screen there, that's Captain Kenny Harris and Buck Upmore were 2 of the people that were killed, along with Morris Bridges. He is the third. Morris Bridges, it was confirmed he has 3 children, ages 2, 17, and 18. And then Captain Kenny Harris, on Thursday, the Dallas Fire Rescue announced that Captain Harris was killed in that explosion. He lives in West and was an off-duty fireman at the time, but responded to assist the Dallas Fire Rescue, of course, immediately on scene. Let's take a listen.
As of this afternoon, 80% of all of the residences that have been affected by fire or by the blast have been cleared, and we will be working tomorrow to clear the last 20% so that we can continue the investigation process. With that said, approximately 3/4 of the apartment complex has also been cleared, and tomorrow the last quarter will be cleared. I will tell you that there is damage to structures from the blast site up to the last structure at the interstate. And of course, we're seeing minimal damage out closer to the interstate, but we do have damage in a pretty wide radius.
Now, according to the Assistant State Fire Marshal, 80% of the homes that were affected by the explosion have been cleared at this time. They were able to clear 80% of those houses. You can just see, though, the destruction just is devastating.
Yeah, and we could see more of the explosion radius, kind of where it took place, and we're getting a better geographic look as well of the city of West as we find out exactly where that bomb radius, what shapes it went out to, and more of the cleanup continues today as it becomes less of a search and rescue, but now a search and find mission. We also want to hear from some of those close to those who were killed.
If it was our time, we wouldn't be here. I mean, there's people around us that aren't here, and we're just truly blessed. And just pray for all the families that aren't as lucky as us. It was pretty traumatic, It's stuff you see on TV, stuff like this doesn't happen in West Texas. We don't have hurricanes. We don't, we're not in the Metroplex. We don't, we're just a little town, and we're not used to stuff like this. Are we going to be okay, Dad? I said, we're going to be fine, son. And he told me, I can feel my arms, feel my legs. He was having trouble hearing and breathing and seeing, just from all the smoke, the gas, all the toxic fumes. But
as a father, you're supposed to protect your son. How did you feel?
It all took over, and I didn't realize it till we were at the hospital. The adrenaline takes over, and I didn't feel any pain. They're asking me what's wrong with you. I'm like, I don't know, until I started looking around. And you don't know till you're in that situation, and the love of a father, it takes over.
This man and his son actually went to investigate the fire, and as soon as that man realized that it was the fertilizer plant on fire, he turned his car around immediately and started speeding away the other way, and that's exactly when it exploded. And they were actually caught in that, and their vehicle was thrown off the road. It was skidded off to the side of the road, he went on to say.
We're going to check in with Chris Davis, who is in West this morning, with more on one of those homes.
Yeah, that's right, Stephanie. Like you said, damage could be seen throughout lot of parts of the city. Downtown, there were some windows broken out. But really, the main area that they're still focusing on is this area right behind me. We're actually at a corner of the area that is still blocked off. We're at Columbus and Harrison right now. You can see cop cars like this one behind me stretching all the way east down Columbus here, as well as if you look way in the distance down there, you can see even more of them going down Harrison to the north right here. And this is still cordoned off. They're not letting anyone in or out, which is not much of a change from where we were yesterday. They're still trying to figure out just what still needs to be done. You were talking earlier about how they've cleared most of the houses in that area, but there is still a lot of work to be done. And the cops that we've talked to said they're prepared to be here just as long as it takes. That could be all day today, but we're just going to have to wait and find out, see what's uncovered today, and see if we can actually narrow down where the actual blast radius was, and see if we can't get some more information about the actual damage that took place in that radius. So we'll be here, we'll be talking to people today, and we'll be trying to get as much information about that as possible. Chris and Stephanie, back to you.
All right, very good, Chris. Obviously, you're in one of the areas that people have been let back into. As of what we've been hearing from DPS, it's going to be a little while longer before people are allowed back into the more devastated areas. How close are you to the homes that were really affected?
Well, we're still a bit away. This is sort of like I said, one of the corners of the area that is blocked off. So we're still we're about as far as you can be, and still sort of near the area, but still pretty far from the actual blast zone. We're just trying to show you the areas that are still blocked off. There's still a lot that is inaccessible to people, even though they are trying to reopen parts of the city. A lot of it is just still completely blocked off, and there's no way for people to get through there. So we'll try to get a bit closer as the day goes on, and as they try to narrow down this area that is closed off.
All right, good work, Chris Davis, live for us in West right now. Of course, we'll be able to see more when the sun comes up. Thank you very much, Chris. He's in that front part of the zone, I guess, where the devastation, then as you go back further and further and further closer to the bomb, to the explosion epicenter, the damage is going to get progressively worse.
Yeah, and we're coming up, more than a day later, and those police trucks still out, police cars still out there blocking off the area, still very much an active scene right now, of course. So. And a lot of people also trying to recover from this and trying to move forward. We talked to some people who were affected.
Like I said, it's something you see on the world news or on the news in another town. You never know. It's never your town. And it's here now.
Well, the little one was sleeping, so she was just excited when she woke up in the hotel this morning. The older one, he was the one, he wanted to leave. He said, let's leave, let's leave. We finally left, and he was just happy we were gone, out of the town.
He was scared?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, he was. We all were.
All right, we're going to show you more aerial shots here as we waited for a lot of these to come into our newsroom yesterday. Stephanie and I were on the air from a little after 4 in the morning until 1 o'clock or so in the afternoon, and we really didn't start getting those aerial shots in until about 8 or 9 in the morning from helicopters and aerial coverage. You just couldn't get out there with another camera, and you could see most of the blown out zones there. There's just a few hot spots that were still left simmering late afternoon, as this is some of the freshest video that we've gotten to see, Stephanie, because we saw a lot of the stuff with the smoke still rising, and you could just see a lot of twisted debris, not much left at all.
And also, it's probably not a surprise, but we do want to tell you that a boil water notice was issued for the city of West. Residents will be notified when the water is safe to consume again without boiling. If you have any questions about the boil order, you can call 254-366-1503. That's the number there if you're interested in more information about the boil order for the city. And of course, one of the school campuses was completely destroyed, but West ISD has said they will be resuming classes on Monday.
Yeah, West Intermediate is the one they're going to have to figure out exactly what they can do with the students. Of course, surrounding communities and other cities have been wanting to offer up their bungalow, any kind of overflow space that they have, because really, as long as the students have their books and their teachers with them, they can continue their lessons.
Yeah.
So obviously, it'll be very inconvenient out of their home school, and that's very frightening for the children, but we wish that the best, of course. Again, the State Firemen's Association is saying that there have been 11 confirmed fatalities in the West explosion as far as first responders go. So that's the number we've got today. But again, the mayor of West saying that approximately up 40 people are still missing or unaccounted for. It doesn't mean they're all dead, just means that they haven't been checked off the roll sheet yet as far as someone getting in touch with them.
We're going to continue our coverage more from the explosion out of West, but right now we do have some breaking news to tell you about out of Boston. We've been following overnight. The search for the Boston Marathon bombers is continuing this morning, and it is intensifying.
Yeah, and the FBI wants the public's help this morning to identify those suspects that were caught on surveillance video, and it was a violent and chaotic night in the Boston area. Let's introduce Chris Pallone, who has more.
A dramatic and surreal scene. Dozens of SWAT officers going door to door, clearing homes in Watertown, Massachusetts, where one of the suspects was shot and killed. This video posted on YouTube shows the shootout as it happened. Police confirmed 2 suspects wanted in the Boston Marathon bombing led them to Watertown, Massachusetts. The suspect in the black hat is dead. The suspect in the white hat is still on the run.
We believe these are the same individuals that were responsible for the bombing on Monday at the Boston Marathon.
Police say the pair were involved in an armed robbery in Cambridge, Massachusetts, then shot and killed an MIT police officer and wounded another.
We believe this to be a terrorist. We believe this to be a man who's come here to kill people. We need to get him in custody.
Overnight, the deceased suspect arrived at the hospital with multiple gunshot wounds.
And probably a blast injury also.
Blast meaning what?
An explosive device, possibly shrapnel, thermal injury.
A dangerous and volatile night that continues to keep Bostonians on edge this morning. Chris Pallone, NBC News, Boston.
Now, the FBI have released that picture on Twitter, also online overnight. Police are securing a 20-block perimeter around that area and are calling the suspect, as you heard, a terrorist. Very dangerous. They're calling him, people there need to be considering him armed and dangerous.
Let's throw it up to Sophia Stamos, who's actually live right now. She's been on location working there for the past 2 days. Hi, Sophia. We check in with you for the first time again this morning. What's the latest you can tell us?
Hi, Chris and Stephanie. Well, just that shock and disbelief is really the only way to describe the reaction here in West. Now, we know 11 firefighters, 11 rescuers are confirmed dead, and the mayor of West has said that 30 to 40 people are unaccounted for. And just a devastating blast, like you said, Stephanie, leveled out about a 5-block radius around the plant. And the rescue efforts continue. It's a joint rescue effort between the law enforcement and rescuers here, as well as Fort Hood search teams and Texas Task Force 1 and 2. We've said it is a slow, methodical search through the buildings. We know that about 80% have been cleared, and we're hoping to hear soon that more progress was made through the night. There will be another press conference here in the next couple hours, so we're hoping to bring you some more information. Now, we do know more about the names of some of those lost. We know that a West firefighter, Morris Bridges, was killed. He leaves behind 3 kids ranging in age from 2 to 18. We know 44-year-old Brian Upmore was also killed. He leaves behind a wife and 3 kids. And a Dallas firefighter, Kenny Harris, was killed. Now, he was off duty, but he was in the area and just felt the need to step in. And really, we just hope that their families know that their firefighters died heroes. Again, there's going to be another press conference here in the coming hours, so we're going to bring you the latest information as it becomes available. Chris and Stephanie.
All right, thank you very much, Sophia. Can you hear me right now?
Yes, I can hear you.
How crowded is that room today? How much media is there? And do we have any officials there with you yet, even though they're not ready to begin a press conference?
There are not yet any officials here. Still lots of news teams out here trying to get the word out, trying to let people know the newest information. We know this is a story that is just so close to so many people's hearts here and around the country and around the world. And so we're going to get you those updates as soon as they're available.
All right, Sophia Thomas, thank you so much. We'll check in with her again a little bit later on this morning. Not only homes were devastated by this explosion, but businesses in the area. We got a lot of looks of different areas. This was one business in West that was completely destroyed, you can see on the inside.
Yeah, I believe it was inside a funeral home here, and you could imagine the damage. I mean, from the wall, they're pushing everything back up against the wall, and the roof parts coming in as well. I mean, that just shouldn't be open on the side. We want to thank our first responders who are actually able to, and the business owners who are able, actually the only ones who are allowed to go in there and actually get these photographs for us, because most of what we've seen is from up high. And again, it's just left a lot of us feeling paralyzed. What can we do to help out? Well, one way we can help out is by donating blood, and they're encouraging today, again, a blood donation. And it's a Friday afternoon today. If ever there was a time to knock off work maybe a couple hours earlier, or maybe to take an extended lunch break and go and be able to do that, we'd ask you to. So many people generously were doing it yesterday. You could see at Carter Blood Care, they fed people pizza who were just waiting in line patiently to donate blood in the Waco area, right out Valley Mills, New Road. We know the area well. A line sometimes took 3 to 4 hours, but people patiently just waited and gave blood, and according to them, they were happy to do it.
They're also saying that, you know, obviously so you can set up an appointment, because donating blood there's a shelf life for it. So if you want to instead set up an appointment, you don't have to wait. You can also help out victims over the next few days.
If you give blood today, you're probably going to wait, and you might wait a long time. If you don't want to wait, we have blood drives every day going on, and we have donor center that's open, and you can make appointments at the donor center if you want to have a scheduled time to give.
They need blood. I mean, we don't give them blood, they'll die. So, I mean, everybody's got to pitch in.
Central Texas is so close-knit. This is what we do. We may not know each other, but we're family, and if this is what we have to do to help somebody out that even we don't know, that's what we're going to do.
I've never donated blood, but West is right down the street. I know a couple of people that went to high school there, and I mean, they're our neighbors, so we got to be there for them, right?
Now, I know the younger kids are kind of off the hook on this one. They are looking for adults who can give blood, and there is a weight limit. I think they're expecting you to be 110 pounds or so, or at least 100 pounds before it's safe to donate blood. I know a lot of people are very squeamish about needles, but thank you to all of those who have braved their fears and actually made sure that they do it, or are really going to toughen up and do it today as well. So we have some still photographs from some people yesterday who just patiently went in and did their civic duty, and in their own way were heroes themselves. 3
to 4 hours sometimes they waited. We heard from our Facebook viewers telling us that, and that there was a long wait, but people were willing to do it because they know that these people, even though they don't know them, some of them, they do know them because they're their neighbors. So it's sweet to see that, definitely. We also, there will be a blood drive today, we want to mention, at the Extraco Event Center in Waco. The American Red Cross is holding it. It's from 1 p.m. to 6 p.m. today. So if you're interested in giving blood, they're asking you to come out and help out.
Chris Davis is up in West. He's as close as he can possibly get to the location there of the epicenter of the explosion. Chris, what's the latest this morning?
Well, we're still sort of playing the waiting game right now, Chris and Stephanie. We're out here. The sun is starting to come up. As obviously you can see, we're at the corner here of Columbus and Harrison. These roads are still completely blocked off. We actually just saw a shift change here at Columbus and Harrison, but all the way down Columbus here to the east, you can see there are still some flashing lights down there, not letting people anywhere north of that. And it's the same thing if we look down Harrison. There are still a lot of roads blocked off. Now, I want to say we've been talking a lot, of course, about the first responders and about just how much good they did. I do want to mention these people, these officers that are sitting on the corners, they're putting in very long hours too. They are, keeping people safe, keeping people out of the damaged areas, making sure that people are staying safe here in the city. They're working 8 to 12-hour shifts themselves. So we want to say that they are working just as hard on these corners, keeping people safe. And obviously we see some new emergency vehicles coming in right now. We will go ahead and take a look into that here in just a couple minutes. But right now we'll go ahead and send it back to the studio, Chris and Steph.
All right, thanks so much, Chris Davis, reporting from West this morning. Have a great Friday, everybody. Thanks for joining us for this special edition of Texas Today.
As press conferences come in and news updates come along the way, we'll update you all morning long.